My final project in my studio class, we were in a group of 15 people. We all had different ideas about the project we wanted to do, and nobody was agreeing, and it was awful, and we would have discussions, and they turned into gigantic arguments. Our teacher finally just gave us an idea and told us, this is what you're doing. This is the idea that nobody wanted to do. We finally just agreed to it because we didn't want to talk about it anymore. We didn't want to argue. Trying to get 15 people to agree is not very fun. I think if we knew about, what groupthink was and what we were actually doing, we probably would have, I guess, not fought each other, but fought for ideas a little bit more. I think we would have tried harder to agree and not just sort of compromise.
We were pretty good friends, I thought, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he just cut me off completely, stopped talking to me, and I had no idea why. Found out later that he had a death in the family, and I didn't have the tools or advice that I needed to approach him, and which could have ended up in us being closer to each other, or becoming better friends.
Okay, I definitely had communication issues. My first year in college, I had a roommate that I didn't know how to actively express to her that we had totally different sleeping patterns, we had different habits. She would be up until 4 a.m., I wanted to go to bed at 8. She wanted to sleep until 2, I wanted to get up at 8 and go work out. So I didn't know how to effectively express myself and tell her, hey, we need to work out some sort of schedule or some sort of compromise. Another issue I had was she didn't understand that when I was in my room being quiet, I wasn't upset with her. And I didn't even find out that she thought I was upset with her until months after I had moved in. So if she had been able to express that to me, we would have instantly been able to resolve that in the first week of moving in together.
One communication problem that I had when I was at my university, I had a night class and I was trying to study and my roommate was trying to sleep. I didn't know if I should bother him or just talk to him about it, so I usually just left the room. Had I communicated more, I guess that we could solve the issue better.
So one communication problem that I have is I have a lot of online classes. I have a lot of students who send me emails that are really inappropriately addressed. So they'll say things like, "Dear Jennifer," or "What's up, Jen?" And one time I got an email from a student that started out, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I totally need help with this problem." And it makes me not want to even respond to them because that's not how you communicate with another person. So I really think that if they had only looked up how to communicate effectively or to be appropriate in an online setting, then they would be a lot better off.
There was a time when I first went to college and I had a roommate. It was just bad from the beginning. The first day I went in there, left my stuff in there, and then when I came back, some of my food was eaten. And then I think he even used my toothbrush the one time. And then every night he would bring his girlfriend and they would start making out, and that would just drive me nuts. It was such a bad experience. I couldn't even talk to the guy because he was always out. So I couldn't even talk to the guy because it would just frustrate me. If I said a single word to him, I would just blow up on him. I couldn't really talk to him because I would either probably hurt his feelings, and I didn't really want to do that.
When I first started at Nova, I was working a full-time job, so I had to take evening classes. Evening classes, they contain more older people. Whenever I had to communicate with them or do group projects, everybody just looked at me like I was the young one, like I didn't know anything. Maybe if I had communicated how serious I was in school, then they would have taken me more serious.
I had a job interview and I had never done a job interview on camera before, and I didn't know the right things to say. I ended up just not getting the job because I didn't know how to address the things I needed to address when the time came. So if I had someone help me out with my interview skills before this, then I possibly could have gotten that job. I definitely need someone to help me out with some things like this.
Sometimes I find that I have a really hard time communicating with my professors. If I have to go to them, if I feel like I have a question after class that I want more clarification on, sometimes I go to talk to them and I feel like they don't take me entirely seriously, and I'm not sure whether that's because of the language I'm using or if I just have stupid questions. So I feel really uncomfortable asking professors questions after class, and so I don't do that a lot anymore.